This is Next News Flash on Cbnext Live. Today, special D R Congo 2011 presidential election. The CENI, Independent National Elections Committee, just published a partial list of the elections results. 15.6% of tallied votes is what we're going to give you tonight. Now, 32 million were registered to vote in these second presidential elections in the history of Congo. The votes took place on November 28, 2011. Now, the observers so far reported a turnout of 87% of voters to the 2011 elections in the Congo. And we have the results from the CENI, and we will just give it to you right away. In the province of Bandundu, with 17% reporting, we have Mr. Etienne Tshisekedi came up with 31%. Mr. Kabila has 61%. In the province of Bakongo, with 44.7% reported, we have Mr. Tshisekedi leading with 74% of vote, while Mr. Kabila has only 20% of vote. In the province of Equateur, with 10.1% of votes reported, we have Mr. Tshisekedi leading with 25.7% of vote. Mr. Kabila comes second with 10% of vote. And here we have two other candidates who are originally from Equateur, Mr. Kengo and Mr. Mobutu Zanga, who is the son of late President Mobutu. So both of them, each one have. The first one is Mr. Kengo with 35% of vote, and Mr. Mobutu Zanga with 21% of vote. In the province of Kasai Oriental, with 22.8% reporting, we have Tshisekedi leading with 81% of vote, and he is followed by Mr. Kabila, very distant, with 15% of vote. In the province of Kasai Occidental, so far we have 15.5% reported, and Mr. Tshisekedi again leads here with 87% of vote, while Mr. Kabila has 8.9% only. In the province of Katanga, in the southern part of the Congo, so far 27% of votes reported. Mr. Tshisekedi comes with 5%, and Mr. Kabila 91%. And we want to mention here, this is the province of Katanga, where several cars were burnt and so many cases of irregularities were actually recorded when people found a lot of electoral cards that were ready to be stuffed in with the name of President Joseph Kabila already checked off. So this is part of what we got in the news, and this is the reason why we'll have our eye open on the province of Katanga, because we're going to do a little analysis on it. We go to the province of Kinshasa, which is the city capital of the country. So far they have 2% reported, and Mr. Kabila is leading with 63% versus Mr. Tshisekedi with 31% in Kinshasa. In the province of Maniema, we have 16.6% of votes reported. Tshisekedi is lagging with 2.6%, while Mr. Kabila is up there handily with 83% of vote. In this province, the third candidate, which is Mr. Kamere, has done 11% of vote. In the northern Kivu, so far they have reported 6.6% of vote, and Mr. Tshisekedi is leading amazingly in that part of the country with 24%, followed by Mr. Kabila, who is tied with Mr. Kamere. So Kabila has 17% and Kamere has 16.9%. Here we are seeing a tendency where the two other candidates, which is Kabila and Kamere, are originally friendly with people down in Kivu, and there is a likelihood that they will win in that part of the country. In the province Oriental, 17% already reported today. We have 66% of vote won by Mr. Kabila versus Mr. Tshisekedi, who has only 13.6%. And Mr. Kamere is coming really distant with 6% of votes only. And the last one, the 11th province, is the one of Southern Kivu. We have 10.5% of votes reported, and at this time Mr. Kabila is leading with 56% of vote, followed by Mr. Kamere, the third candidate, with 37% of vote, while Mr. Tshisekedi is lagging with 3% of vote. Now, if we break all these numbers, we're gonna see at the national level, Mr. Tshisekedi coming up with 997,074 votes, which represents 34% of vote, and Mr. Kabila is coming with 1,523,099 votes, which represents 51% of vote. And at the distance third, we have Mr. Kamere, who comes with 131,531 votes, which represents at this time 4.5% of votes. Now, the total of votes that we have at the national level is 2,937,224 votes. So far as a little comments, we have the European Union observers, 147 observers, met yesterday, Thursday, at the hotel of Kinshasa to give a preliminary report on the elections. Mrs. Nedelcheva, who is representing the European Union, so far pointed a few irregularities and cases of fraud that actually tainted these elections. They also mentioned 18 judges that Mr. Kabila has appointed right before the elections, and those judges are scheduled to be sitting on the Supreme Court, which is the institution that will examine all the preliminary results and then also declare them official. And also, another news that we have is that during these elections, 86% of the airtime on television were available to Mr. Kabila, the incumbent president, while only 1% was available to Mr. Tshisekedi, his main rival, according to the Agence France Presse. And when we go at the end, we also have the CENI, whose president, Mr. Ngoyi Mulonda, gave some information to the ambassador Bethuel Kiplagat when they spoke about the elections. He gave him assurance that by November 28th, everything was going to be ready to run these elections. But unfortunately, on the day of elections, there were countless of places of senders that didn't have ballot kits, that didn't have electoral material, and some of them turned away many of the voters that came to participate in this election. Again, today is just the first round of elections, and tomorrow the CENI will publish another set of results, and we'll come back to you to give you another flash on Cbnext Live. I'm Franklin Katuna. You just watched the next news flash. Thank you for watching.